I've got 5 after, so I think we'll go ahead and get started, and we'll probably have a few people join us as we start. But I'd like to welcome everyone to our Thursday at noon webinar. I'm Holly Doherty with the Mount Vernon Lee Chamber of Commerce, and we are just delighted to have Sean Corcoran and Marvin Goodley with us. They are our local crime prevention officers, and we'll be introducing them and the program a little bit later. But these webinars are sponsored by Fairfax County Economic Development Authority, and in collaboration with some of the other jurisdictions in the area, they've put together this website, Work in Northern Virginia, that lists jobs that are available in the area. So it's a nice resource if you know people that have been laid off of their jobs. You know, some industries have really been impacted by the pandemic, whereas other industries are looking for people wanting to hire. So it's a good resource for people that are kind of in that situation or want to transition into the area. So Work in Northern Virginia, and we want to thank Fairfax County EDA for sponsoring these webinars. And we'd also like to mention the Chamber's strategic partners. These are businesses that support the Chamber on a higher level and make possible all the things that we do, and we appreciate their support. So as I mentioned today, I'm going to go back here. Let's see, I think Carmen, you're on, didn't I see you on the call? Carmen Fierro with Quality Inn. Carmen is joined us today, and she is one of our strategic partners. And I know they are big supporters of our law enforcement and first responders. So Carmen, thank you. And we'll give you a little shout out there at the Quality Inn. So as I mentioned before, we've got Detective Marvin Goodley from the Mount Vernon Police Station, and Officer Corcoran, Sean Corcoran from the Franconia Police Station. And as our footprint, the businesses that we serve at the Chamber of Commerce cover both of these areas. We wanted you to get to meet both officers and know this resource. I don't know if businesses are always aware what a great resource the crime prevention officers are to help them. So officers, how would you like to do this? Who would like to go first? We'll let each of you talk a little bit, and then I think we'll have time to answer everybody's questions.
Okay. Well, if Sean wants to, I'll let Sean go first if he wants, if he's good.
All right.
Thank you all for having us. I don't have anything super prepared because I didn't know exactly what maybe some of your questions were. So just very briefly, just about me. As Holly said, I'm the crime prevention officer for Franconia. I've been with the department for about 19 years. Previously served in our Major Crimes Bureau, where I worked child abuse investigations and then financial crimes investigations. And then I was actually down in Mount Vernon for 10 years, working with Marvin and others. And I was on the neighborhood patrol unit there as well as patrol. So a lot of my career I've spent, in the south end of the county, and I'm very proud of that and very privileged for that. So, and it really is very interesting and, just dynamic, and just even seeing the changes since the time I've been here has been, something to see. So I know Holly, kind of asked about just in general, concerns, that we are having. I think things can tend to ebb and flow, especially within the business community, and kind of being targeted. We're always going to have matters of, burglaries or larcenies or those kinds of matters. And the best thing for that would just be, to try to do your best to invest in, systems that can, kind of protect your assets, whatever that business might be. So maybe if you're more of a, maybe something where it's, equipment intensive, say, landscaping or construction or contracting or those types of matters, really is important that you invest in solid systems to kind of deter theft. I mean, at the end of the day, if somebody wants to get in, they're going to get in. But the harder that we can make it, the more that does deter crime. The other thing too is investments in surveillance systems. Uh, they're not the be all and end all, but I can tell you, as being a detective, every little bit helps, and every little piece of evidence helps. So maybe we don't necessarily get a good view of somebody's face, but it can tell us a lot about time, or general description of somebody, or what they might be going after, and can help us detectives kind of build out the kind of an MO, or more of a profile. And then as more information comes in, you never know what little thing is going to kind of put it all together. So I know here in Franconia, and it's the same thing in Mount Vernon, our detectives work very, very hard. They are the primary ones that will be handling matters like burglaries or more involved larcenies or those kinds of matters. But if you do invest in those systems, try to do your best to to get systems that are going to work for you, and do what you need them to do, and then stay up on it. I know it can be tough, because you go months or years and nothing happens, and you're like, well, what am I paying for this service for? Or why do I have to keep changing over the data, or if it's an older system, DVDs or what have you. But unfortunately, we do have situations where maybe something has kind of gone into disrepair or disuse, and then something does happen, like a break-in, and then we might see like a video camera or what have you in a corner, and saying, all right, well, can we get access to that? Well, the system's been down for a couple months. So try to do your best to stay up on those things. I know there's a lot of things that compete for your time and your resources and money, but it's one of those things where it's kind of like a mailbox. You don't think about it until you need one, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, where's a mailbox? Kind of the same thing with a lot of these anti-theft systems. So we can't really make a recommendation one way or the other, towards specific product, but do your research and try to get the best that's going to work for you. Outside of that, I mean, it's vigilance is the biggest thing that we would kind of recommend. And then always, if you are seeing something, say something. We have more ways to kind of report things than we ever have before. You can go online. You don't have to just necessarily call our dispatch. And even have built out things like our community reporting system has been built out a lot through COVID. So don't ever hesitate and think, oh well, it wasn't that big of a deal, or maybe I'm just making more out of it. If that's what we're here for, so please call. At the very least, if it's something suspicious or a suspicious event, it can be passed back to folks that might like detectives or our neighborhood patrol units or what have you, and kind of help them maybe better target areas or issues that might be coming up. Lastly, just not everything is the physical smash and grab or burglaries. A lot of what we're being targeted with anymore is financial crimes and scams and online scams, and the business community is a prime target for that. The county's done a good job of kind of delineating scams. I know from my experience, I have worked cases where business owners kind of fell for the Dominion scam, where somebody's calling from Dominion Power and saying, oh, we're going to turn your electric off, and they're running around and getting gift cards or gas cards or whatever, just to find out later that they've been duped. It's easy to fall into these things. Like I said, we have so many things coming at us. Maybe sometimes we're doing a business part-time or on the side. We have all these other concerns. Just know that if you're having entities like Dominion or the police department, we're not just going to call you up and say, hey, you have a warrant or you owe this, give me money. It's going to be a much more in-depth process. There's going to be notices, emails, mail, and there's nothing to say like challenge them on it and say, all right, well, you give me a number, where I can call and I can verify you're, that you're real. But just keep an eye out for those things. And I will say, it is frustrating, but a lot of times if they're not coming, rarely are they ever in our area. They're usually, coming from either other parts of the country or internationally. So it can be tough for us to, trying to track these guys down if they are targeting you. But at the same time, if it is getting reported, if you do have a concern, especially if you're out the money, please call it in. If not, we'll do our best. But like I said, I mean, these things are everywhere. It's kind of like fishing for these folks. The best thing you can do is just watch out for yourselves and, think about when you're getting these calls and try to backtrack and do your own research and challenge them on it. Outside of that, I'll kind of button it up and I'll turn it over to Marvin.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Master Police Officer Marvin Goodley. I am the Crime Prevention Officer here at the Mount Vernon Station. I've been with Fairfax County Police now for 21 years, all of which has been here at the Mount Vernon Station. In those 21 years, I've worked the 3 patrol shifts, day works, even the midnights. I was an SRO for several years at the local school at West Potomac High School and Carl Sandburg Middle School. And also I was a detective in the criminal investigation section for several years back at the station. Being a crime prevention officer, one of the most important things that we do in the crime prevention office is make sure that the community is safe. So not only the residential community, but also the commercial community, because the commercial community is also very important to us. They're part of the lifeline of the county. They help establish economic growth of the county. So what happens with the commercial residents of the county is very important. So our job is to make sure that those businesses stay safe, those businesses flourish, and those businesses don't have any issues. And any issues that do come up, we address. So one of the first things I want to piggyback on what Sean was saying is the alarms. So we have 2 different types of alarms. We have either an audible alarm or a silent alarm. There are positives and negatives for both. Now, the audible alarm, what that will do is once someone trips that alarm, it sends out a loud blaring sound. And usually the audible alarms are the ones that scare people away. And usually that's what you want most to happen is whatever they're doing, they stop doing, they leave. Now, the silent alarm, it trips the alarm. Whatever someone does to trip the alarm, it notifies the alarm company and notifies police. We can get there quickly without them knowing about it and maybe arrest them while they're there. So the question is, okay, what works best for you? And so you got to figure out what works best for you, the silent alarm or the audible alarm. I will say with the audible alarm, when it makes a loud sound, it draws a lot of attention to your business. It draws a lot of people looking to see where is that coming from. And it draws a lot of phone calls from other residents saying, hey, I hear an alarm coming from the Bellhaven Shopping Center. Something's going on over there. So unlike with the silent alarm, it's just the alarm company and the police, while with the audible alarm, it brings everyone starts looking, everyone starts paying attention. So they might see a car drive away. They might see someone start running away, which helps us as putting evidence together. So a lot of people don't like the audible alarm because sometimes they might be close to a residential area and then the residents might complain, but you got to weigh the positive and the negative. So like I said, the positives is, hey, we might see someone running away. We might see someone driving away. We might see someone else that might be involved that we might want to talk to. So you got to weigh the positive and negative. One of the other things I like to mention is lighting. And a lot of the businesses and shopping centers, I understand it's economical for sometimes to let maybe several lights go out before you change it, because this way you're not always change the light every time it goes out. But what that creates though is dark spots. And in those dark spots, people hide, people wait, people disappear. But even if you have no audio visual equipment and you have dark spots, once they hit that dark spot, we can't see where they go or how they came there or how they left. Because sometimes with audio visual equipment, the dark spot will not tell us exactly how they came or how they left. So is there a car waiting for them in that dark spot? Did they jump on a bike or did they just run away? With the audio visual equipment, we just see them run into a dark spot and can't see anything else. Sometimes knowing those extra things makes a big difference. So sometimes every now and then, take a walk around your business and, hey, look at the lighting. Is there dark spots around my business? Is there areas where someone could hide? Are there places where, hey, I can just shift a couple of things around and take away that hiding spot, or brighten up that hiding spot, or use a brighter bulb? Sometimes a brighter bulb can cover an area a lot more than maybe 2 or 3 bulbs. One really bright bulb can cover an area a lot and brightens up the area. So you have to look at that also. No, in looking at your business. No, when I was a detective, there were a couple of cases I worked where people who actually robbed businesses actually came into the businesses 1 or 2 days before to look and see what you got. No one goes into a store not knowing exactly what they want. No, there was a guy I had that used to rob all the cell phone stores, but he was looking for certain model phones. So he didn't want to waste his time going to the store if they didn't have that model phone. Because now remember, he's risking going to jail. So what we end up doing is going back and watching videos from the store from 1 or 2 days before. So hey, this same guy came in every day for 2 days, 2 or 3 days, and looked at the same phone without buying. Not saying that's regular customers don't do that, but that should kind of like draw some attention to, hey, what is he doing? He's been here 3 days already. He's still not buying anything, but he's looking at the same phone. So sometimes pay attention to some of your customers might come in because now they're kind of like looking around. They're shopping also, but unfortunately, they're shopping to do some illegal stuff instead of doing the right stuff. Because people don't break into stores or businesses by happenstance. They're looking for something. They know you have something. Remember, they're risking their lives, they're risking their livelihood, they're risking going to jail. So it's not something they want to do. To go in the store now, you have nothing. That's still a crime. That's still a burglary. They still will go to jail and lose their freedom. So they want to make sure that you have something there. So every now and then, just look at some of the customers you have. If the same person keeps coming in over and over, but he's not buying anything, you might want to confront him. Like, hey, so can I help you with something? Is there something particular you're looking for? That tells them, hey, I know you're here. And now you get to see them, and it also tells them, hey, I see you. And now they get to say, oh, well, they recognize me. Hopefully that helped them to move on. And one of the things I want to mention is emergency contact list. Several times we've had to deal with businesses where something's happened and the emergency contact list hasn't been updated for 2, 3, maybe 4 years. And we end up calling somebody like, hey, your store's been broken into, need you to come down here, or I'm no longer the manager, or I was a manager 3 years ago. Well, do you know who the new manager is? No. So it creates an issue because what it does is it slows everything down, because now it slows us down from being able to access your video cameras, to know exactly what was taken, exactly what we're looking for. So we got to kind of wait until the manager shows up that morning. That could be 2, 3, maybe 4 hours. So just make sure your emergency contact list is updated with the alarm company and with the police department sometimes. So we'll know exactly who to contact, just in case something does happen with your business. Really, there are minor things you can do to limit the amount of action that will happen, legal action that will happen at your store. Just like Sean said, if someone really wants to break into your business, they're going to. But our job is to make it a little bit harder for them, make it tougher for them, and making sure that hey, you know what, they might change their mind after they see some of the changes you made. Yeah, that area was dark yesterday, but it's really bright today. It's just those little things you can do to change and enhance and strengthen your business that might persuade people not to come your way.
So Detective Goodley and I were talking a couple of weeks ago. We had 2 businesses in Mount Vernon Plaza that were broken into. And he had, I thought, just some really good kind of common sense ideas on how to prevent those types of robberies. Do you remember that situation?
Yes. Pretty much we had the China One Chinese restaurant and the Scrimp Shack, which is right next door to it, which are both in the back of the shopping center, right next to the Home Depot and the Staples. So pretty much what I recommended was that maybe for the restaurant, since both these burglaries occurred at night, that both businesses probably leave a light on inside the business. This way, so it's not totally dark, because people like to operate in the dark. So if we're driving by or security's driving by, they can easily see if someone's in there if the light is on. If the light's not on, people can kind of hide in the dark. So they break through the door or they break through the back and they hide in the darkness. Well, if you leave the light on, now you have to leave all of them, but like a nice central light that's bright, it kind of lightens up the store for other people to see that, hey, that no one's here. That someone's there if someone does happen to come in there. Also, a recommendation was that to leave the cash register open. It shows them that, one, there's no money in there, because no one's going to leave a register open if there's money, because people usually break into stores looking for money. So leave the register open, showing them, hey, there's no money here. We don't leave them register open if there's money in it. So there's no money here. Leave the register open. Between the light and leaving the register open and making sure that all your doors are secure before you leave, I think will go a long way into deterrence, because really no one wants to waste their time including criminals. So if they see a register open, a light on, unfortunately, there might be another store and another shopping center that's not doing that. That's a little bit more easier for them. So they'll move that way. And that's really what we want them to do, is not hit your business, not rob your business, or cause damage to your business, which now increases your insurance and everything else that goes along with that.
Thank you, Detective. Let's see, Phyllis or Carmen, did either of you have questions that you'd like to ask?
I'm just curious if the fact that so many, with COVID, are you finding that that's more of a problem in some of these, like even on Franconia Road, some of the strip malls? I know I've lived in this area for 37 years. I typically don't go to like that Staples or the two restaurants after dark, because they're way at the back in that dark corner of the shopping center. So are you finding that because there's less traffic, people shopping, that there's been more crime? Or
actually we've seen that the property crimes have gone up a little bit because of everything that's going on. Unfortunately, a lot of people are out of work, a lot of kids are out of school, so the property crimes have gone up. And with so many people being out of work and out of school, there are more people out and about mulling around and hanging around. And with the back of that center, like you said, it is dark. So a easy access and entry and access for that center is back through the trailer park and back through those back gates. So that's why a lot of the incidents that happen in that shopping center happen near the back. We don't have a whole lot that happen in the center or near the front, because they're too populated and people can see you from Richmond Highway. But in the back of the center, that's where we usually get a lot of the burglaries and break-ins, because they come in through the back, through the fence line, through the wood line, and they go out through the wood line.
I always feel really secure when I go to Springfield Town Center. I think there's a really good presence over there now. Is there anything that you'd like to share about that area?
Yeah, it does attract a good amount of our resources. We have great partnerships there within the town center, and it is really amazing what they've done with it, especially if people remember back to the mall days. We do have officers that are detailed there. That's their full-time job, and we actually cover both shifts, so there should be coverage every day. They do a great job of having good relationships with the stores, and being able to target and when the crimes do happen, they do a great job of jumping on it, but also being a deterrent as well. A lot of the things remain kind of constant insofar as the pattern. You will have people coming from the metro. They'll try to target the mall and then try to get back to the metro. But again, I think they've done a great job. I think the security and the staff at the town center do a great job of creating a good environment as well. So as it stands right now, we don't have anything specific or any problems that are popping up, or any challenges with the property or the town center. But at the same time, we're always vigilant, and we'd always, just like we always say, like if there are things that we're seeing, don't hesitate to let us know so we can get on those, and hopefully knock them down before it becomes something that is an issue. But I mean, but outside of that, just given the general ebb and flow of things, we don't have anything specific at this point that's of concern with the town center.
That's great news. Thank you so much. I know the police substation there at this town center is a great asset to all of the businesses there, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. Phyllis, did you have any other questions?
Carmen?
Carmen?
To say to Officer Goodley, when you're talking about the audible versus, I live in a condo near Huntington Gateway, and I don't know who they rob down there, but I swear it's at least once a month the alarms go off in the middle of the night. And it's like, so you've got it like a 15-story building looking down, right, going, all right, what's going on now?
Really what that was they were, at that particular time, they were hitting the ABC store right there.
I was going to say, I think it was the ABC.
Yeah, they were hitting the ABC store a lot. We had a little series going on for a little while, but we kind of were able to resolve that. But like, luckily they had an audible alarm. So once something happened, it alarms people. People start paying attention. People start calling. And next thing you know, we were able to see cars driving away and start putting the puzzle together to help solve that.
I figured it was the ABC. I wasn't sure if it was that or the pizza place.
No, it was the ABC.
Like, here we go again.
Yeah, they were hitting steady for a little while there. But then, like I said, we were able to put the pieces together to kind of like calm that down finally. But usually sometimes it takes a while. But like I said, that was one of the benefits of the audible alarm, where, hey, it scares them away, and also it notifies other people to what's going on around them, and they'll start calling also.
Good morning, Holly.
Hey, Carmen.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for joining us today.
I did have a question, and I typed it, but apparently I typed it wrong because it went privately to Detective Goodley. Have you found that during COVID, crime has increased on the highway?
We've had an increase in some crimes and a decrease in some crimes. So we've had an increase in mental health calls because everything that's going on, but that's technically not a crime. But those numbers have really gone up. And we had a decrease in residential burglaries because everyone's home. But we had an increase in the thefts from stores and like Walmart and Shoppers. So we had an increase. So it's a trade-off. So some things have gone down and some things have gone up. We've had an increase in the people taking things from cars because people are leaving their cars unlocked, and people, what we call car hoppers, are going around the neighborhoods at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, checking car doors to see if they can find anything in the cars. So we tell people, hey, just lock your doors. Actually, with that, we actually have not had an increase in actual cars actually physically being broken into, but cars are being gone into because people leave the doors open. So they don't actually have to physically break into the cars because so many people leave their cars unlocked, unfortunately. So the physical breaking in of cars has gone down, but the actual going in of cars has gone up.
Thank you.
Interesting. Well, this, all of our lives have changed with the pandemic, and I guess we shouldn't be surprised that crime patterns have changed also as a result of that. Well,
if you used to be able to tell who was up to shenanigans, but with everybody wearing a mask, you can't tell anymore.
That has created a problem. Wearing the mask. We gotta work around it. Pretty much we've had to work around it also.
Yeah, I never thought I would have to wear a mask to go into the bank.
Yeah, you can get away with it now. Now it's not an issue. Before, a year ago this time, it would have been an issue. Now it's not an issue.
Yeah.
What do you guys need from us as a business community?
Well, if just be aware. Also being aware of what's going on. Hey, call us as soon as you see something. If you feel it, if it doesn't seem right to you, call us and we'll figure it out. But also realize also that a lot of it is just property. So don't risk your life over property. So if it's just that, hey, they want the pair of shoes, or they trying to steal the dress off the rack, and they look like they're really dangerous, don't confront them. Just get a good description, give us a call, and tell us see which direction they went in. Don't actually risk your life for property.
When you were talking about contact information, do you have access to the lock boxes that the fire department put on the businesses?
No, we actually work with the fire departments for that. So if we see there's a lockbox there, then we'll call the fire department. They have the keys. We'll have them come. If it's like that much of an emergency we need to get in, we'll just call the fire department.
That's good. Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think this has been a wonderful opportunity for us to visit with both of you officers. We really appreciate it. And we'll be posting this video on our website. So hopefully more people will be able to watch it over time and learn and know that both of you are a resource for them for their businesses. So thank you very much for joining us today. And we'll go ahead and end this webinar.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Take care.